On the day I crossed over, I became a peak master with no disciples, but the system demanded I take on a disciple who also had a system. Just then, there was a sign in system host in the square. The system hacked into his mind directly, changing his mission to become my disciple or be wiped out. Watching that genius youth look utterly confused, yet having no choice but to kneel and call me master, I could only sigh. This effortless way of taking on disciples was really tough on the disciple. I died. Opening my eyes, everything was gray and hazy, like the world before creation. Ding! Congratulations, host. You're dead. A massive light screen suddenly appeared before me. Reincarnation procedure initiated. Please choose your identity. The light screen was packed with options. Tough youth, a hard luck beginning with a bonus sign-in system. Down and out young master, standard broken engagement setup, accompanied by an old man spirit. Wastrel young master, appearing lazy but secretly having an AFK cultivation system, lying low for a millennium to become invincible. Gallant swordsman with a gambling system, all in whenever uncertain, a 50-50 chance. Each option was tempting. 10 seconds until crossing over. 9, 8, the system was counting down urgently. To be honest, if I really had to choose, I'd be torn to death. But since I'm dead anyway, I might as well gamble. My eyes stopped at the last option. A question mark. Random rebirth, uncertain identity, unknown future, with a chance of getting the legendary golden treasure. 3, to go big or go home. A bicycle can turn into a motorcycle. Random. 1, I tapped with my finger. The next second, dazzling golden light exploded. Congratulations, host. You have randomly obtained the hidden, one-of-a-kind system, the Divine Master Recruiting System. A flood of information rushed into my mind. Normal systems have a single function. Check-in is just check-in. Auto-battle is just auto-battle. Mine is different. It's the ceiling of all systems. As long as I keep taking on disciples, its features can be infinitely expanded and enhanced. One system, multiple pleasures. Totally worth it. Then, the memories of my new identity flooded in. I'm still called Lu Changzhi, and the place I'm in is called the Tianxin continent. There are 6 top-tier powers here, and I am the peak master of the 6th peak of one of them, the 5-image sect, the hidden fate peak. Starting as a peak master, maximum prestige. But when I carefully checked my memories, I was dumbfounded. On this vast hidden fate peak, I was the only one, a general without an army. Just then, a noisy voice came from nearby. Changzhi, snap out of it. It's about to start. I opened my eyes. Before me was an exaggeratedly vast square, packed with a sea of people. I was sitting on a high platform. The speaker was Tsung Wenyu, the head of the 5-elephant sect, clad in a green robe with an immortal-like aura. After rifling through my memories, I understood. Today was the disciple recruitment ceremony, and I, as the peak master of the hidden element peak, had been dragged here by him. Better to come early than late, perfect timing to test out this disciple recruitment system. As soon as the thought crossed my mind, a panel popped up before my eyes. System mission issued. Recruit 1 disciple. Restrictions: aptitude at the spirit level or above, and must possess a system. Mission reward: newbie gift pack 1. Must possess a system. I focused my mind, and the system immediately explained. This dimension has many system hosts, but mine is the only supreme grade 1. I can detect them, but none of them can detect each other. Still, a chosen one with spirit-level aptitude and a system where they look down on me, a lone leader. The 5-elephant sect has always upheld the way of survival above all. On the surface, its strongest combat power is only at the creation realm peak, hardly attractive enough. As I was thinking this, the system's voice rang out. Master, do you need help? I can automatically scan nearby people and filter them for you. Filter, add condition, possesses a system. I closed my eyes and continued browsing my memories. The probability is lower than winning the lottery. I couldn't find it, so I went out for a stroll. Suddenly, a red flash appeared before my eyes. System prompt. Found another host with a system. I snapped my eyes open. Amid the crowd, a young man was marked with a red glow. He looked somewhat ordinary, but his eyes were resolute, nothing like someone who was cheating. The problem was, now that I've found him, how could I make him become my disciple? The system chimed in like a timely rain, attempting to hack the other system. Successfully invaded. The other party is named Gu Chun, with superior spiritual grade aptitude, doubt platform stage 4th level. Check-in system. Current task. Check-in at the 5 Elephant Sect Plaza. A check-in system, no wonder he came here. System, can you tamper with his task? Change it to becoming my disciple. A moment of silence. Task being tampered with. Tampering successful. Now publishing. In the plaza, Gu-chan was about to check in and leave. To him, the 5 Elephant Sect was just a stop on his journey. With his system, he had risen from the lowest yellow grade to superior spiritual grade. His goal was the topmost powers. System, check in. No response. The system's cold voice suddenly rang out. Ding. Task released. Join the 5 Elephant Sect and become the true disciple of peak master Lu Changzhi. Task failure. Erase the host. Gu-chan was petrified on the spot. Erased for not becoming a disciple? This damn system was serious. But along the way, he had absolute faith in the system. The higher the risk, the greater the reward. This mission definitely held a huge opportunity. Lu Changzhi? Whoever that is. Forget it, let's just test the aptitude. The higher the aptitude, the more choices you have. When the time comes, I can just name my master. He stepped onto the white jade pillar, and as his palm touched it, the lights surged. Earth grade lower, middle, upper, heaven grade. The speed was so fast it stunned the entire audience. In an instant, it shot up to heaven grade supreme with no sign of slowing down. Song Wenyu narrowed his eyes. He subtly formed a hand seal, and the white jade pillar trembled slightly. The lights steadily stopped at spirit grade lower. The entire hall gasped. The 5 peak masters rose to their feet abruptly. Song Wenyu stepped forward, his face full of smiles. Excellent, excellent. After so many years, our 5 Elephant Sect finally welcomes another spirit grade prodigy. Gu-chan frowned. This pillar seems broken. It only measured spirit grade lower. Just as he was about to speak, Song Wenyu's voice transmission echoed in his ear. Kid, I know it's more than this. Staying low key isn't a bad thing. Well, even the sect plays it safe when testing aptitude. The 5 peak masters instantly started a fierce competition to claim him, arguing until their faces were red. In the end, Song Wenyu had to step in to mediate. Respecting the genius's wishes, let him choose. Countless eyes converge. Gu-chan takes a deep breath, his gaze sweeping over the 5 peak masters, and speaks solemnly. I have long heard of Peak Master Lu Changzhi's great name. This trip is only to join his sect. The entire place falls dead silent. The 5 peak masters, including Song Wenyu, are collectively dumbfounded. How could be Lu Changzhi? He's still a child. Song Wenyu says with difficulty. Changzhi, you know him? I stand up with a smile after digesting the system's good deed. Guten Seisme. His pupils shaking. He's too young. He subconsciously uses the system to check my attribute panel. Name, Lu Changzhi. Realm, return to simplicity. Aptitude, unmeasurable. Talent, unknown. Luck value, 999 plus. Evaluation, if there was only one last cow left in the world, then he's the only one who is awesome. Damn, even the system can't probe him. Who said all big shots are beggars on the roadside? This is clearly a walking god. Gu-chan immediately kneels in salute. Disciple Gu-chan pays respects to master. The whole place erupts. Several peak masters still want to fight for him. After all, this is a spiritual grade seedling. Having a child teach would be too childish. Song Wenyu pondered for a moment, then said, Changzhi, what do you think? I nodded. He can join my hidden essence peak as my true disciple, Gu-chan declared decisively. In this life, I will only bow to Senior Lu Changzhi as my master. The matter was settled. Song Wenyu conveniently fabricated an imposing background for Hidden Essence Peak, claiming it was the most mysterious core force of the 5 Elephant Sect, only accessible to those who had reached a certain level of strength and talent. This explained Gu-chan's choice and could bluff external forces. Truly a master of schemes. Back at Hidden Essence Peak, I let Gu-chan find his own place to stay, then entered the room and closed the door. Newbie gift pack open. A flash of light. Experience points 500. Mature Enlightenment Tea Tree 1. Talent. Master not lesser than Disciple. Hidden Essence Rest. Disciple Growth Boost Pack 1. I looked through them one by one. Enlightenment Tea. A supreme treasure of insight that people would kill over for a single leaf. I got entire Mature Tree. I harvested all of it and packed a heavy sack, enough to last a long time. Then I looked at the talent. Master not lesser than disciple. The master cannot be inferior to the disciple. Whatever aptitude the disciple has, the master automatically sinks to it. The disciple's techniques and martial skills are mastered by the master without guidance. And when the disciple reaches perfection, the master achieves a state of transcendence. Click to use. A mysterious sensation envelopes the whole body. Opening the eyes, the world is clear and bright. Spiritual energy feels intimate, and one directly ascends to the spiritual level top grade talent. At the 9th level of the Tao platform realm, the attribute panel gains an extra hint. Recruiting 2 more spiritual level top grade disciples can synthesize saint grade talent. Hidden Yuan converging breath. Freely conceal one's cultivation level. No one can see through my true strength. This means I don't need to train hard and sweat. The stronger the disciples, the stronger I become. They grind and struggle, while I lie down and grow stronger. At the same time, the system gains a new feature, the sign in system crack version. Find disciple Guchun. Every time he completes a sign in task, I receive better rewards than his. Freeloading, in one word, sweet. Then I open the disciple growth support gift pack. Supreme Marrow, cleansing pill, spirit middle grade heavenly halberd, spirit upper grade flying boat. Each item is priceless if taken outside. Perfect as a welcome gift. Pushing open the door, Guchun is building a house. His diligence is heart-touching. Guchun, since you have entered my sect and are the senior disciple, a welcome gift is a must. There is not much, just make do with it. I handed the items over. Guchun took them, glanced once, and his pupils dilated on the spot. The highest grade marrow cleansing pill, as good as the system's first check in reward. A middle grade spiritual spear, while a check in only gave a lower grade one. The most explosive was a top grade spiritual flying boat. With it, future check and travel efficiency would take off directly, and he just casually took it out. Even more powerful than the system's check and rewards. Guchen's heart churned like a stormy sea. With such an incredible master, why bother working hard? He fiercely shook his head, his gaze becoming resolute again. No matter how strong the master is, I must rely on myself. With this flying boat, I should work even harder at checking in. I must surpass the master as soon as possible. Good grief, such a try hard. I then took out a handful of enlightenment tea leaves. I asked him to brew tea. Guchun made the tea and set it on the small table by the lounge chair. The sunlight was just right. I took a gentle sip, smooth on the tongue, a line of warmth down the throat. My whole body felt transparent, as if merging with heaven and earth. No wonder everyone wants to cultivate immortality. This life is just too comfortable. Guchun looked up and downed it in one gulp, then immediately sat cross-legged in enlightenment, using the Tao comprehension tea to solidify his techniques, not wasting a single moment. I lay back, savoring the tea, feeling perfectly at ease. Wen Song Wenyu and Su Kuan, the peak master of the Dharma aspect peak, arrived. As soon as they stepped onto the mountain, both of them froze. Guchen's aura swirled around him, and he had actually entered a state of enlightenment, truly worthy of a spirit grade talent. Song Wenyu stopped mid-sentence, his gaze locking sharply onto the teapot on the table. He reached out with a flick, and a tea leaf flew out. His pupils contracted. This is Tao comprehension tea. He reacted swiftly, raising his hand to cast a sound isolating formation over Guchun, then stared intently at me. Where did this come from? I was about to answer when a system option popped up. 1. Tell him the truth, and mention that I still have a sackful more. Reward, undying body. Cost, struck by lightning at midnight for 10 years. 2. Make up an excuse, claiming it was obtained by chance, and share some with them. Reward, Mirage Illusion Array Spirit Grade Lower. Experience 100, Level 3. Blame on the disciple, and share some with them. Reward, Random Sacred Beast, Experience 50. Sorry, Sect Leader. Peak Master Su, and my senior disciple too. This sacred beast is just too tempting. I clear my throat, gestured toward Guchun, a tribute for my disciple Gu. I didn't expect it to be so precious either. Both of them turned to look at Guchun, who was in an epiphany. Their expressions changed. Song Wenyu tightened his grip on the tea leaves. He asked in a low voice, "Do you have any more?" I put on a troubled look. Not much left, barely enough for a few more brews. Song when you nearly spat blood. Such an incredible item, and you're using it like ordinary tea leaves, brewing that many at once. What a waste. He had to save these poor tea leaves today. Before he could find the right words, I directly took out a handful, at least dozens of leaves. This is all I have left. Take them and use them. Their eyes nearly popped out of their heads. You call this not much? This could brew all the way to ascension. Song Wenyu, quick as a flash, took it. He gave my shoulder a heavy pat. Changzhi, the sect records this as a great merit. The system's voice rang out immediately. Congratulations, host, for completing the task. Reward: Random Sacred Beast X1. Experience points, 50. Would you like to proceed with the draw? Proceed with the draw? Lu Changzhi thought for a moment. He declined Song Wenyu, and the others were still there. Better to keep a low profile and send them off first. Coming back to his senses, he saw the two engaged in a friendly conversation. Senior sect leader, we're in this together. You have to share some with me. Su constert intensely a kang venu is pet. Ahem, Song Wenyu coughed lightly. Let me say something fair. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It seems I still underestimated the value of this tea. Lu Changzhi gently shook his head. By the way, sect leader, your arrival. Is there something you need? The two paused for a moment. Then Song Wenyu's expression turned serious. Changzhi, the reason we came this time is mainly for your newly accepted eldest disciple. I plan to test his talent again. Besides that, there is another matter. Song Wenyu paused thoughtfully. Looking at Lu Changzhi, he said, since he has become your disciple, do you have any plans for his training? Lu Changzhi pondered for a moment. To be honest, given Gu Chen's system, the most suitable way to nurture him is only one free range. I wonder what plans the sect leader has. It's like this, Song Wenyu said. Since he has joined our 5 Elephants sect and has a spiritual level aptitude, we should naturally spare no effort in cultivating him. Although he has already become your disciple, you are still young, Changzhi. After discussing with the other peak masters, we have decided to jointly train him. Nominally, he will remain your disciple. What do you think? Are they willing? Lu Changzhi was somewhat surprised. After all, even if they taught him well, the master's name is also here with me. Song Wenyu shook his head. Changzhi, this is where you don't understand. Every gifted disciple to the 5 Elephants sect is extremely important. Once they join the sect, regardless of whose disciple they are, the sect's elders have a duty to look after them. Lu Changzhi smiled upon hearing this and nodded. In that case, I'll trouble the sect leader and all the peak masters. This way, the matter of teaching the disciple is also resolved. At this moment, Gu Chun came out of his enlightenment, awakening. It was noticeably that his aura had grown a bit stronger. Greetings, 2 seniors. Gu Chun stood up and bowed. Then, he picked up the teapot on the table, paused slightly, and then said, let me brew some tea for the 2 seniors. With that, he walked out. After only a couple of steps, Gu Chun halted, let out a soft exclamation, and turned to look. Master, you didn't eat all the tea leaves, did you? As his voice fell, the surroundings suddenly fell into a brief silence. Head disciple brother, Su Kuan said softly. Do you feel a scorching power of fire surging to your face? Song Wenyu remained expressionless. In response, Peak Master Kai, he said, you must not slander me. Su Kuan's expression stiffened. Head disciple brother, my surname is Su. Su, how did you get led astray by that kid Changzhi too? All right, Lu Changzhi interjected. No need to soak any longer. The head and the others have tasks for you. Upon hearing this, Gu Chun stopped dwelling on it. Then, Song Wenyu produced a bead. He gestured for Gu Chun to place his palm on it. After a few breaths, the bead burst into dazzling light. High-grade spiritual level, Song Wenyu remarked with emotion. He looked at Lu Changzhi with envy in his eyes. Changzhi, you've truly found a treasure. Lu Changzhi smiled faintly. You flatter me, head. It's all due to effort and persistence. Song Wenyu shook his head. It's truly a pity. If it weren't for Lu Changzhi's betrayal, the Gu Chun before us would most likely have been his disciple. After that, Song Wenyu began to impart some sect-related knowledge to Gu Chun. Lu Changzhi also took the opportunity to learn. Among the 6 top forces of the Tianxian continent, the 5 Elephants sect was the earliest established, and the one with the longest history. The sects and forces that were founded alongside the 5 Elephants sect have all perished in one calamity after another, vanishing into thin air. Only the five-elephant sect has managed to survive. Among these, the most important reason is one of their ancestral precepts: do not easily show strength to outsiders. Thanks to this in past calamities, the greatest enemies would not bother with a force like the five-elephant sect. This also saved the five-elephants sect a lot of trouble. Of course, this does not mean they should always cower. When the time comes to act, they must act. But when they do, it must be with overwhelming force, ensuring absolute success. Now, although we are one of the six top forces, but in the end, you're at the bottom. You have some strength, but not much. When acting outside in the future, remember to be extra cautious to avoid encountering disaster. If you truly encounter danger, take this token. Song when you handed a jade token to Guchun. Remember, when in danger, there are only two things to do first. If you can hide, hide next, call for help. Do you understand? Song when you said with a serious face. This disciple understands. Guchun nodded, accepting the token. Song when you nodded. I'll tell you the rest slowly later. Next, we must first improve the cultivation environment of this Inyuan peak. He called out to Su Kuan, and then the two began to busy themselves. Among the five-elephant sect, Su Kuan was the most skilled in formations. Among the new formations added to the sect, most were created by him. Su Kuan took the lead, Song Wenyu assisted. Under their busy work, the spiritual energy on Inyuan Peak became noticeably more intense. Compared to other places, it was at least 10 times stronger. I'll come back later to set up some defensive formations. That's all for today. Su Kuan said. You've worked hard. Lu Changzhi nodded in thanks. After they left, the sky had already darkened. Guchun also returned to his half-finished house. Lu Changzhi went back into his room. He silently uttered, "System. Initiate Sacred Beast Summon." Summoning Sacred Beast. The system's voice sounded. Suddenly a flash of light streaked by. Then, a red glow appeared on the ground before Lu Changzhi. Lu Changzhi quickly looked over. The next moment, he was stunned. This figure, this posture, is this a damn chicken? Lu Changzhi was dumbfounded. What the hell, a rooster? Can be a sacred beast? Congratulations, host. You have summoned the sacred beast. Choming Bird won at the same time. A surge of information flooded Lu Changzhi's mind. The Chongming bird looks like a chicken. Its cry resembles that of a phoenix, and it has double pupils in each eye. It is also called the double pupil bird. With boundless strength, it can hunt down fierce beasts like tigers and wolves. It has all kinds of monsters and demons, so that evil omens and wickedness can do no harm. Lu Changzhi read through it patiently. In his heart, he suddenly understood he had actually misunderstood this Chongming bird. Although it looks similar, as the information said, each eye indeed has double pupils. Moreover, its fiery red feathers are as smooth as silk. Bright and beautiful ordinary chickens can hardly be so magnificent. Unfortunately, it's still young. Gazing at this Chongming bird, which only reached his knee, Lu Changzhi couldn't help shaking his head. To make it grow, he would have to feed it himself. Otherwise, riding it to roam the 9 heavens would be a stretch. He always felt the system was tricking him. Putting aside his thoughts, Lu Changzhi looked at the Chongming bird. He said, I'll give you a name. Chongming bird, from now on, I'll call you Xiaoming. Xiaoming, that's you. Understand? Chirp, chirp, chirp. Xiaoming nodded in a human-like manner. Not bad. Tonight, you'll sleep outside first. Tomorrow, I'll have my disciple build you a shelter. After Xiaoming left, Lu Changzhi opened the system. He started browsing through it. Finally, his eyes fell on the shop. If you remember correctly, the experience points rewarded by the system could be used to buy items in the shop. System, open the shop. Failed to open. Opening requires 1,000 experience points. Host current experience points, 550. So expensive? Lu Changzhi frowned. The newbie gift pack only gave 500 experience points. Not even enough to open the shop. System, this is unfair. Lu Changzhi said, Master can open the shop immediately, but you will lose the first time flash sale with 90% off after opening. Open immediately? Forget it. Lu Changzhi shook his head immediately. He wasn't lacking anything at the moment. He was just a bit curious. He hoped this so-called one-fold flash sale wouldn't disappoint him. After a short while, Lu Changzhi closed the system interface. For now, he still needed to accumulate some experience points. As for upgrading the system's features, or upgrading his aptitude and cultivation level, those could wait for now. The night passed quietly. Early the next morning, Gu Chun rushed over. As soon as he entered the courtyard, Gu Chun was taken aback. When did Master start keeping chickens? Why hadn't he seen them yesterday? The moment he spoke, a chirping sound was heard. Xiao Ming flapped its wings and turned into a streak of red light, charging at Gu Chun. Bang! The two collided. Immediately, a solid, muffled thud was heard. Then, Gu Chun stepped back 2 paces. Gu Chun's face showed surprise. He looked at Lu Changzhi and said, "Master, this chicken of yours. Such great strength." Lu Changzhi's mouth twitched. That didn't sound right. Chirp, chirp. Xiao Ming launched another attack. Dull thuds rang out one after another. Lu Changzhi was somewhat surprised. This little guy didn't look big, but his strength was truly considerable. Seeing that it was about enough, Lu Changzhi said, "All right, Xiao Ming, stop bullying him." Xiao Ming stopped his claws upon hearing this. Lu Changzhi then looked toward Gu Chun. "Gu Chun, it is a Chongming bird, named Xiao Ming. You cannot call it a chicken. Otherwise, it will get angry. From now on, you must practice diligently. You cannot only focus on your cultivation realm. You must also pay attention to your physical body." Disciple understands. Gu Chun nodded. With a miserable expression. How embarrassing. He had been bullied today by a chicken. I still need to work harder. Otherwise, one day, if I can't even defeat Master's chicken, that would be too shameful. At this moment, Gu Chun was greatly inspired. Time passed, and in the blink of an eye, Lu Changzhi had been here for half a month. Basic skills like flying through the air. He had also learned, and moreover, thanks to Gu Chun's efforts, he had now, for no apparent reason, mastered several martial techniques. Additionally, through the method of checking whether Gu Chun was practicing earnestly, Lu Changzhi also learned some information about the sect that he wanted to know. Life was quite peaceful, but after all this time, why hasn't Gu Chun made any move? One day, Lu Changzhi lay on a chair and asked in his heart system, "When you intruded last time, did you go too hard and break your eldest disciple's system? Otherwise, it's been nearly half a month, and not a single task has been issued." "Master, no need to worry." The system replied, as a system, "I always come and go with restraint." As soon as it finished speaking, Gu Chun came looking for him. "Master, there's something I need to discuss with you." "Oh." Lu Changzhi sat up, asked what the matter was, said he still had some matters outside. He planned to go out and deal with them on this trip. Lu Changzhi's heart stirred. He secretly asked the system, "Does he have a mission?" "Yes, Master. The check-in location has been refreshed. Pingyang City, check-in reward. Random." No wonder, Lu Changzhi thought to himself. He remained calm on the surface. Said, "In that case, you go ahead. Be careful on the road." But Gu Chun hesitated. What about the sect leader and the others? Lu Changzhi understood upon hearing this. Gu Chun's current status made going out inconvenient indeed. Just as he was thinking, the system suddenly spoke. Disciple Gu Chun is preparing to go out to complete the check-in. There may be unexpected gains. Your options: 1. Let him go alone. Reward: Heaven Grade Superior Speed Talisman 1. Experience plus 200. 2. Accompany Disciple Gu Chun. Reward: Heaven Grade Superior Protection Array Disc 1. Experience plus 300. Unexpected gains? Lu Changzhi's heart stirred slightly. It's worth taking a look. At that moment, he stood up and said, "I'll accompany you on this trip. Pingyang City is not near. Just the two of you going out. I'm a bit worried." Before they left, Song, when you stop the two of them. "Here, I'll arrange some people to go with you, just in case something unexpected happens. Wait a moment first." Soon, Su Kuan arrived with 4 elders. Lu Changzhi was slightly taken aback. This lineup isn't a bit too lavish? Just going out for a trip, and one of the 5 peak masters is personally protecting us. "Changzhi, let's set off," Su Kuan said with a smile, as he took out his own flying boat. It was a spirit-grade lower-quality flying boat, quite large in size. Gu Chun hesitated for a moment and said, "Senior Su, how about just use my flying boat?" After speaking, a spirit-grade upper-quality flying boat suddenly appeared. High-end, impressive spirit-grade upper quality. Su Kuan and a few elders were slightly startled. Gu Chun, as a disciple, actually had a flying boat of such rank in his hands. Song Wenyu also let out a soft exclamation of surprise. He remarked emotionally, "This Guchun has quite a few good things in his possession, as expected of the disciple who could produce enlightenment tea." After the surprise, everyone boarded the flying boat and hurried toward Pingyang City. Congratulations, host, for completing the task. Acquired. Heaven Grade Upper Rank Shelter Array Plate X1. Experience plus 300. After flying some distance, the system's voice sounded. Not bad, including the previous ones. Now, there are 850 experience points. Until the shop is unlocked, only 150 points remain. However, this Heaven Grade Upper Rank Shelter Array Plate doesn't have much use. Lu Changzhi said softly. The array plate is a simplified version of a grand formation. Its advantage lies in portability and time saving, but it is inferior to a fixed grand formation. At most, it is equivalent to a heaven-grade mid-rank fixed grand formation. On Hidden Yuan Peak, there were several mid-grade heaven-rank formations. Without dwelling on its value any further, Lu Changzhi put it away into his storage ring. Pingyang City was within the territory of the Five Elephants sect, but it was relatively far away. Normally, even if traveling day and night, it would take nearly half a month. With a top-grade spirit rank flying boat, it would take just over a day. However, for cultivators, a day's time wasn't considered too long. That afternoon, the flying boat arrived near Pingyang City. To avoid causing too much disturbance, before they got too close, the flying boat was put away. Guchen walked ahead to lead the way. The several elders concealed their auras and followed on either side. I wonder if there are any talented juniors in this city. Since we're here, we might as well take some back with us. One of the elders said. Another elder shook his head. Unlikely. Such matters rely on luck. I suggest you not consider it. Kong Ling, are you saying my luck is bad? Don't overthink it, you simply have no luck. Their conversation reached Lu Changzhi's ears. A faint smile couldn't help but curl at the corners of his mouth. The atmosphere among the elders of the Five Elephants sect was quite pleasant. However, this matter of relying on luck. At that moment, Lu Changzhi mused inwardly. System, search Pingyang City. See if there are any prodigies. Your current detection range is limited. Search has been initiated for you. Please continue deeper, Master. Meanwhile, Su Kuan also released his spiritual power. In an instant, it enveloped the entire Pingyang City. After a moment, he gently shook his head. There were no juniors in this city who met the criteria for taking on disciples. Following Pingyang City, they proceeded into the city. Soon, everyone arrived near the city lord's mansion. Master, esteemed elders, please wait a moment. After saying this, Guchen walked toward the city lord's mansion. He was seen stopping in front of the mansion. At the same time, the system's voice echoed in Lu Changzhi's mind. Congratulations to the host, Disciple Guchun, for completing the check-in task. Disciple Guchun receives the reward. Spirit Rank Mid-Grade Technique. Spirit Concealment Art. The host receives. Spirit Rank Top Grade Movement Technique. Shadow Trace Step. Experience points 100. Spirit Rank Top Grade. Lu Changzhi raised an eyebrow. His own disciple's system gives out some pretty powerful stuff. A check-in rewards a spirit rank from the start. As far as he knew, spirit rank techniques were scarce even in the Five Elephants sect. As for spirit rank top grade, it was even rarer. And now, with the help of the system, he had directly obtained a top-grade movement technique. A movement technique of this rank, if word got out, it would spark a frenzy among the major powers. Master, Senior, I'm done. Just as Lu Changzhi was thinking, Guchen walked back. Excitement was clearly visible in his eyes. To this, Lu Changzhi didn't ask much. As long as it's useful. You grow stronger, and so do I. Since you're done, then let's head back to the sect. Su Kuan nodded, and Lu Changzhi was about to leave. Suddenly, a group of playful children ran past not far away. The system prompt suddenly sounded. Master, I have detected a person with a special constitution. Lu Changzhi's expression shifted. He immediately asked, where? As his voice fell, a beam of light extended out, pointing to a young girl. The girl had twin ponytails and looked to be no more than 10 years old, quite lively and fair-featured. She's just a child. Lu Changzhi was somewhat surprised. He used the system to check the girl's information. Could this be the unexpected gain you mentioned, system? What does unawaken mean? Lu Changzhi was slightly startled, replying to Master, a special item is needed. To awaken it, current requirement for the target. Any Earth attribute Spirit Beast Core 1. After awakening, the target's aptitude will also improve. A Spirit Beast, huh? Lu Changzhi thought for a moment. It doesn't seem hard after all. Xiao Ming is a sacred beast. Lu Changzhi lowered his gaze and looked. It was a talent that surpassed others in culinary arts. A talent of surpassing others in culinary arts, with innate cooking proficiency. He had a keen intuition for flavor blending and heat control. Along the path of culinary arts, one could be called a genius. Ordinary people could envy, but could never surpass it. Lu Changzhi's expression couldn't help but turn somewhat strange. That giant brute body was famous for its overbearing strength. And there was this cook's talent. He really couldn't associate these two identities with the girl in front of him. Although there was no disciple recruitment task at the moment. This talent was still a hidden constitution. He could consider taking her back as a cook. Lu Changzhi pondered for a moment. Special constitutions were an extremely rare existence. There were people who possessed these constitutions. They had unique advantages in their corresponding fields. It could be said that they would definitely achieve something in one aspect. In the past, a heaven-grade special constitution was enough to cause fierce competition among relevant forces. Not to mention this giant brute body was a spirit-grade constitution, although not yet awakened. But at least there's this potential. Of course, the main reason is the meals at the Five Elephants sect. While it can't be said to be inedible, for someone like him from Blue Star, it's still somewhat hard to bear with. Eating, drinking, having fun, these are the top of life's 4 great pleasures. I already have tea leaves to drink. As for the food, how could I shortchange myself? Now, there's a promising talent right before me. Worth cultivating. Changzhi, what are you blanking out about? Su Kun called out. Hearing this, Lu Changzhi smiled and said, Peak Master Su, wait for me a moment. I'm going to find a chef. In the Luo family's main hall, I never expected both of them to enter the outer sect of the Five Elephants sect this time. It is indeed a cause for celebration. Seated above, Luo Changqing, the Luo family patriarch, smiled gratifyingly. Indeed, the third elder of the Luo family nodded beside him. Then he said, Patriarch, there is another matter that needs attention. What is it? The Five Elements sect has added a new peak, called Hidden Origin Peak for what the sect leader said. It is a specially established 6th peak. The 6th peak, who is its master? Luo Changqing looked surprised. His name is Lu Changzhi, appears to be a young talent. With outstanding bearing, nothing ordinary about him. Most likely a genius secretly cultivated by the Five Elements sect. Among this group, a junior with spiritual grade lower tier aptitude has entered Hidden Origin Peak and become his disciple. The third elder spoke with excitement. For those who witnessed the scene, it was definitely worth mentioning. Spiritual grade aptitude. Luo Changqing shook his head. With my humble Luo family, there's no way to even come close to such a level. Unless our ancestors' grave emits green smoke. Otherwise, knowing all this only gives material for a fantasy. Hearing this, the third elder also sighed. Just then, a servant suddenly came running, reporting, Patriarch, there is a young man outside who claims to be Lu Changzhi of the Five Elephants sect, seeking an audience. Five Elephants sect? Luo Changqing looked surprised. The next moment, he was suddenly stunned. He said, what was his name? Lu Changzhi. The servant repeated, the one we were just discussing. What was his name again? Luo Changqing turned to look at the third elder. Let's go check. It can't be real. The third elder took a deep breath. Such a great figure. How could he come to a small place like ours? The two hurried to the door. They saw Lu Changzhi and his group standing at the door. The third elder instantly felt as if struck by lightning. His lips started trembling. He stared intently at the group before him. Peak Master of Inyuan Peak, Lu Changzhi. The genius Gu Chun, Peak Master Su. Am I dreaming? Luo Changqing, who was beside him, saw the third elder's reaction, and his heart skipped a beat. Could it really be the ones they were just discussing? Immediately, Luo Changqing quickly bowed. Luo Changqing, the head of the Luo family, spoke respectfully. Greetings, esteemed lords of the upper sect. I failed to perform the welcome rites properly. I beg your forgiveness, my lords. There is no need for that, Lu Changzhi said, shaking his head gently. He got straight to the point. I see that Luo Ling has considerable talent. I intend to make her a nominal disciple of Hidden Essence Peak. I wonder what you think of this." It was then that Luo Changqing finally noticed Luo Ling standing nearby. Once he realized, a look of ecstasy suddenly appeared on Luo Changqing's face. Just moments ago, he had been saying that only top-tier geniuses could go to Hidden Essence Peak. And now, in the blink of an eye, they had come to take his daughter there. Even if it was just as a nominal disciple, it still carried the word disciple. Countless people would try their utmost and still might not get in. Yet now, they had personally come to his door. It was like a dream. After a long while, Luo Changqing finally calmed down a bit. He cautiously confirmed, "My lord, may I ask if it was Ling or S cultivation talent that caught your eye?" Hearing this, Su Kuan beside him looked even more peculiar. He distinctly remembered that Lu Changzhi had said he was looking for a cook. Yet this little girl, with her tender, fair skin, couldn't even lift a pot, let alone cook. Lu Changzhi cleared his throat, then said, "But she is still young, and there's no rush for cultivation. So for now, let her come to Inyuan Peak to handle some basic tasks. I've already spoken with her about it, and now it's up to you." "Good, good, good." Luo Changqing laughed heartily. Then he said, "I have no objections at all. I'll follow the upper sex arrangement completely." Yay! Linger's little face was full of excitement. Freedom at last. Luo Changqing's expression shifted slightly, and he promptly scolded Ling. "Once you're at the Five Elephants sect, you must not act as you do at home. Follow the upper sect master and train properly. If you cause trouble, don't blame me for being strict." After that, Luo Changqing smiled and said to Lu Changzhi, "This girl has a bit of a wild streak. If it causes any trouble, please, esteemed senior sect master, teach him a harsh lesson. This girl Linger is tough as nails. Make sure you don't stand on ceremony with her." Lu Changzhi couldn't help but smile upon hearing this. Now that's what I call a real dad. But regarding the chef, steady, a thought stirred within. The protection array plate previously obtained flew in front of Luo Changqing. "We set out in a hurry. Didn't bring anything. Consider this a gift for our first meeting. You're too kind, upper sect." Luo Changqing quickly bowed in thanks. Then something came to mind. Hurriedly said, "You must be tired from this journey, senior sect. But you may come to the mansion to rest for a while. I instructed someone." "Then there's no need for that." Lu Changzhi waved his hand. "It's getting late. If there's nothing else, Master Luo, we'll take her back to the sect first." Meanwhile, the third elder watched until the group left. Finally came back to his senses. Each of these matters is more explosive than the last. Indeed it is. "Third elder, go check it out quickly. Which ancestor of our Luo family has blessed us today?" The girl Changzhi found doesn't seem to have anything special about her. That excuse is just too flimsy. This Luo Linger as a cook. Whether anything she makes is even edible is questionable, as expected of a great master teacher. Even the system didn't find anything special about this little girl. I suppose it's because the master has returned to simplicity, so he can see what I cannot. Inyuan Peak now has one more disciple. This trip wasn't a complete waste, after all. On the flying boat, everyone had their own thoughts. Lu Changzhi casually taking in an ordinary girl like that was indeed puzzling. But no one asked. After all, taking in disciples can be said to be entirely a matter of personal preference. And besides, she's only a nominal disciple. Strictly speaking, not even a real one. But not asking was unbearable. It was then that Su Kuan suddenly stood up, his eyes slightly closed. Then the speed of the flying boat gradually decreased. "Senior Su, what are you doing?" As the master of the flying boat, Gu Chan naturally sensed it. He immediately asked. Though unexpected, it's also a good thing. Su Kuan turned around, looked at Gu Chun, and said, "Get ready for class. Get ready for class." As the words fell in the distance, beneath the night sky, the void suddenly rippled. Then, two flying boats appeared. Several powerful auras instantly pressed down upon them. At the same time, the two flying boats suddenly accelerated, one from the left and one from the right, closing in. On the two flying boats, there were 3 people each, and among the 6, 2 had already reached the peak of the life and death realm. The other 4 were at the early stage of the life and death realm. These are people from the Five Elephants sect. Chun Ming of the life and death realm frowned. and looked at the other life and death realm cultivator. People from the six great sects, Wang Yin, should we stop here? So as not to alert the enemy. Chunming transmitted a message to ask. Since we're already here, Wang Yin replied. But his gaze was directed at Gu Chun. This kid's aura is not weak. His talent is at least at the heaven level. His blood is the most valuable. As the two communicated via telepathy, Su Kuan asked Gu Chun, do you still remember when encountering the enemy? What should you do? If you can't dodge? Gu Chun thought for a moment and said, call for help. That's right, Su Kuan nodded. Two fists are no match for four hands. Many ants can bite an elephant to death. Su Kuan nodded in satisfaction. The next moment he calmly spoke. Show yourselves. Swish, swish, swish. As his voice fell, the void rippled, and another flying boat actually appeared. On the flying boat, there were as many as 16 elder figures. Each person's aura. All appeared to be of the Tao platform realm. Gu Chen's eyelids twitched. So many people were secretly following. Lu Changzhi, on the other hand, was much calmer, with Gu Chen's talent and status. How could he only have these 5 on the surface to protect him? Damn it. Shen Ming saw this scene. Couldn't help but curse angrily. Sure enough, there were still people secretly protecting him. What's there to fear? Wang Yin smiled faintly, his gaze turning to Su Kuan, a hint of amusement at the corner of his mouth. You're not the only one who can call for backup, 5 Elephants sect. We always act with caution and prudence. How could we not be prepared? The moment his voice fell, farther away, the void rippled. 2 more flying boats appeared, racing over on each flying boat. There were more than 10 people. Together, there were 20-some people in total. Moreover, 2 more life and death realm peak experts appeared. Now, on the surface, 4 life and death realm peak experts. Over 20 Tao platform realm cultivators had already gained absolute advantage. After all, on the 5 Elephants sect side, there was only Su Kuan, a single life and death realm peak expert. The remaining 20 were merely at the Tao platform realm. Lu Changzhi's gaze shifted slightly. This group of bandits is not simple. Are we going to be finished? Beside him, Luo Linger blinked her eyes. There was a tiny bit of nervousness in her eyes. Lu Changzhi smiled faintly. I'm afraid it might be difficult. If it were truly dangerous, why treat it like a lesson? He's probably not planning to hide his strength anymore. Su Kuan is, after all, a peak master of the 5 Elephants sect. How could his cultivation level be lower than a bunch of bandits? Just as Lu Changzhi thought, Su Kuan was about to show his strength and counterattack. From not far away, in several directions, suddenly beams of light appeared. The light came from afar, and then abruptly spread out. Swish, swish, swish. The aura of several arrays surged over. At the same time, voices rang out. Soundproofing array in place. Illusion array in place. Concealment array in place. Floating array in place. The voices rang out one after another. What's going on? Chun Ming's expression shifted slightly. At that moment, 8 flying boats entered the arrays. Each flying boat carried 8 elders from the 5 Elephants sect. That made another 64 people in total. At this moment, the playful look on Wang Yan's face vanished completely, replaced by unparalleled fury. Damn it, 5 Elephants sect. You're playing dirty, aren't you? The others were also filled with rage. On the surface, only a few people were shown, but in secret, they hid nearly 100. What the hell? Are they fishing for us? Screw it. Let's fight them to the death. One person roared angrily. We have more experts, even if they outnumber us. It won't matter. At the same time, Su Kuan closed his eyes slightly. He said attack. The moment the words fell, 4 elders on the flying boat struck simultaneously. Each chose an opponent at the peak of the life and death realm. The others charged toward those in the Tao platform realm. In the first clash, among the 4 life and death peak cultivators, 2 were sent flying backward, spitting blood. 1 exploded and died, and the last was hurled heavily back onto the flying boat. Face covered in blood, pupils like needles. Struggling to raise a hand, you all, really? Before finishing his words, his breath ceased. The remaining robbers at the Tao platform realm, who should have been furious, to avenge their big brothers, but didn't get the chance to do so, as everything had already ended. On the Yellow Springs Road, the souls of the 4 big brothers are no longer lonely. Those who should come, not one missing. This Gu Chun stared wide-eyed. At this moment, he felt he hadn't entered a cultivation sect, but something so decisive and swift. This is purely an assassin organization. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh in midair. Those corpses and severed limbs didn't fall to the ground, but onto the floating array below. Then, the entire battlefield was rapidly cleaned up. Some removed storage rings, some emptied pockets, some destroyed the flying boats. After a few breaths, bodies and flying boats were gone. A faint floral scent wafted in the air. All the elders disappeared. It was as if nothing had happened. Lu Changzhi lowered his hand, which had been shielding Luo Linger's eyes. He shook his head gently and let out a sigh. That was too professional. What a bunch of unlucky bandits. Before they knew it, they became material for a lesson. But we still have to thank these bandits. Lu Changzhi thought to himself. The formations, just now, had completely blocked external probing and perception. And even so, these elders did not reveal their true strength. They really know how to hide, understand? Su Kuan looked at Gu Chun at this moment. He said with no small amount of pride, "You can always trust your sect. If you can't win, just call for backup." The disciple understands. Gu Chun took a deep breath. He noted it seriously. The bandits were just a small interlude. One day later, the flying boat returned to Inyuan Peak. Gu Chun, Lu Changzhi said, glancing around. "Go and build another house for Luo Ling." Gu Chun nodded in agreement. As he was about to leave, he heard Luo Linger say, with some surprise beside him, "Ah, what a big rooster." Gu Chun quickly looked over. He saw Xiaoming glance at Luo Ling, but didn't move. Gu Chun frowned. After a moment's thought, he called out, "Brother Rooster, chirp, chirp." As soon as he spoke, a flash of red light shot straight toward Gu Chun. Discrimination. Gu Chun cursed and immediately struck back. For a moment, man and rooster were locked in battle. Luo Linger's eyes went wide, staring at the scene in disbelief. "Master, that rooster you raised, it's so powerful." Lu Changzhi laughed heartily and called Xiaoming to stop. After all, this was a sacred beast. How could it be weak? In the following days, life remained calm as usual. Spurred on by Xiaoming, Gu Chun trained even harder. Not only had his cultivation reached the 9th level of the Dao platform realm, but even the spirit concealment art, which he had only recently obtained, had already been cultivated to the entry level. One day, Luo Linger came looking for him, with an expectant look on her face. "Master, are you also going to teach me some powerful skills? You're quite eager to learn, little one." Lu Changzhi smiled as he looked at Luo Ling. "Of course," Luo Linger said enviously. "I see how senior brother cultivates, and he's really amazing. I want to become like that too." As she spoke, Luo Linger gestured imitatively. Lu Changzhi laughed heartily, saying, "You'll get there too someday, but there's no rush yet." Pausing for a moment, Lu Changzhi continued, "Since you're here, there's something I need to tell you." "What is it?" Luo Linger asked curiously. "In your current state, you're not yet qualified to be my direct disciple. For now, you can only be an outer disciple." "Are they different?" Luo Linger looked confused. "It's the same," Lu Changzhi replied. After all, even if he were a true disciple, he had nothing to pass on. As for being a nominal disciple, it is because of Luo Linger's current aptitude and other issues. This is also the sect's rule. The true disciple status and the nominal disciple, the resources they can access, are quite different. There's another thing, Lu Changzhi continued. As for cultivation, there's no rush for now. You need to wait for a while first. "Why?" Luo Linger asked, puzzled. "My father said I've reached the age to cultivate. Because you have other things to do." Lu Changzhi made up a reason. This was actually also a suggestion from the system. Luo Linger's constitution has not awakened yet, so it is not suitable for her to cultivate too early. Otherwise, after awakening, it might have some impact on her foundation. In addition, the so-called Earth Attribute Spirit Beast Core is not as simple as he imagined. Even within the sect, there is currently no Earth Attribute Spirit Beast Core. The system did hint that it's available in the shop, but right now the experience points can't be rushed. "So what should I do?" Luo Linger blinks his, rubbing her hands together, full of anticipation. "Follow me." Lu Changzhi stood up and walked out. The two walked one after another, arriving in open space. Here, various utensils had already been laid out. Pots, pans, bowls, dishes, firewood, rice, oil, and salt. In addition, There were many ingredients preserved with formations. Eh, Luo Ling'er was puzzled. She asked in confusion, "Master, what is this for?" Lu Changzhi put his hands behind his back, glanced at Luo Ling'er, then cleared his throat lightly, and said seriously, "Any disciple who joins the Five Elephants sect must master the skill of cooking. Eating is a major matter for us cultivators. It must be taken seriously. Besides, in the future, after you grow stronger and go outside, there will be times for outdoor training. You wouldn't want to go hungry outside, right?" Luo Ling'er was stunned, listening. She nodded and said, "Then, has the senior brother done it too?" "Of course," Lu Changji nodded. "But the food your senior brother cooks is terrible. Since you can't practice cultivation yet, it's just the right time to learn the way of cooking. In the future, maybe in this area, you'll surpass your senior brother and become the culinary expert of our Inyuan Peak. Then, whoever makes you unhappy, you just won't cook for them. They'll surely treat you with great respect." Lu Changji painted a rosy picture without a hint of embarrassment. Luo Ling'er was captivated, savoring every word. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. "Great! Master, I want to learn this." "Ahem," Lu Changji coughed lightly. "The way of cooking requires self-realization. The master leads you through the kitchen door. The rest of the practice is up to you. Don't ask, because if you do, he doesn't know either." Before leaving, Lu Changji cast a fire avoidance array on Luo Ling'er and let her do as she pleased. Back inside, he lay down and brewed some tea, closed his eyes, and savored the joys of cultivation. Cultivation, what a wonderful thing it was. After an unknown amount of time, a presence quickly approached, and Gu Chen's voice followed. "Master." Lu Changji slowly opened his eyes, looked at Gu Chen, and saw the expression on his face, one of some indignation. That was quite rare. So Lu Changji asked, "Gu Chen, has something happened?" Gu Chen took a deep breath, pointed outside, and asked, "Ling'er's cooking. Was that arranged by you, master?" Lu Changji followed Gu Chen's gaze and saw smoke rising into the air. Lu Changji nodded. "I arranged it. What do you think about this matter?" Gu Chen hesitated for a moment, but still said, "Master, since you've accepted her as your disciple, and we come to Inyuan Peak, you should let her cultivate. Ling'er is already at the age where she can start training. Now is the perfect time to build her foundation. Besides, tasks like cooking are handled by dedicated staff in the sect. Even if their food is a bit bland, it's still better than what Ling'er makes. I want to check on her earlier, and she clearly has no experience with cooking. Having her learn from scratch would be a complete waste of time. Besides, that girl Ling'er isn't even as big as a pot. Cooking is not something she should be doing." Gu Chen spoke at length in one breath, clearly showing he had strong feelings about this. Lu Changji nodded lightly and said, "What you say makes sense." It didn't surprise Lu Changji that Gu Chen felt this way. This eldest disciple of his was the type to be ambitious in everything. Every time, Xiaoming bullied him. For the next few days, he would train so hard he'd almost skip sleep. If Xiaoming weren't a sacred beast, growing fast, Gu Chen might really have overtaken him. And the main way to grow stronger, naturally, was through training. Other matters besides training, as far as Gu Chen was concerned, naturally weren't that important. "Then, master, do you still intend for Ling'er to keep learning to cook?" Seeing that Lu Changji had no further words, Gu Chen asked. Lu Changji smiled slightly and gestured, "She's here." As soon as he finished speaking, Luo Ling'er's slightly excited voice rang out. "La la la. Master, master, the chicken soup is here." Then Luo Ling'er came in carrying a soup pot, her little face, black and sooty, still showing traces of excitement and pride. "Senior brother is here too." Luo Ling'er hurried forward and set the soup pot on the table, said urgently, "Quick, give it a try. How is my cooking?" Her voice was full of expectation. Gu Chen took a look into the pot. Then his brows twisted into a knot. He looked at Luo Ling'er. "Ling'er, are you sure this is?" His voice paused. Gu Chen glanced at Xiaoming, then said, "This soup, why does it look like this?" He saw that in the soup pot. It was a grayish color with some green. Chicken pieces floating faintly added a few more shadows to the soup. With this appearance, Lu Changji fell silent. But considering it was Luo Ling'er's first time making soup, he felt he should at least encourage her. So Lu Changji spoke up. "Gu Chen, why don't you be the first to taste the soup? Don't let down Ling'er's good intentions." Upon hearing this, Gu Chen's mouth twitched. He couldn't shake the feeling that this soup was somewhat poisonous, and yet he was asked to taste it first. Master, oh master, can't you show some care for your number one disciple? Forget it. Anyway, with the awesome master here, nothing bad will happen. Gu Chen took a deep breath. He composed himself, smiled, and said, Linger, this is your first time cooking, and you managed to make chicken soup. You're already better than many people. Let Big Senior taste your soup. Great, great. Luo Lingyan nodded excitedly. For this, I at least need to find a way to swindle 2 enlightenment tea leaves from Master. Gu Chen thought to himself. Then he picked up a soup spoon, filled a teacup, and gulped, tilting his head back and downing it in one go. His demeanor revealed a sense of heroic resolve. How is it? How is it? Luo Ling'er quickly asked. Lu Changzhi was also a bit curious. They saw a hint of confusion and uncertainty appear on Gu Chen's face. Then he filled another teacup for himself. I swallowed too quickly just now. Let me try it again this time. Gu Chen drank noticeably slower. The expression on his face shifted from stern to doubtful, then to shock and disbelief. This. Is it good? Is it good? Luo Ling'er immediately pressed for an answer. Gu Chen's face was full of disbelief. He couldn't help but look at Lu Changzhi. He saw the corner of Lu Changzhi's mouth curved into a faint smile, as if he had known this would happen all along. Gu Chen was stunned for a full 2 breaths, then let out a faint sigh. Little junior sister is truly a genius at cooking. Upon hearing this, Luo Ling'er's eyes immediately lit up. Master, senior brother is praising me. As she spoke, she put her little hands on her hips, almost writing the word proud across her face. Lu Changzhi laughed heartily. She reached out and ladled herself a bowl, perhaps because of the way it looked. The moment it entered the mouth, it struck with a contrasting impact. It was hard to imagine that this seemingly poisoned chicken soup could actually deliver such a subtle and unique flavor. Is this the power of talent? Lu Changzhi thought to himself. For an ordinary person, making it look like this wasn't difficult, but achieving such a perfectly balanced taste was impossible. Although in terms of appearance, this chicken soup couldn't compare to the dishes from the sect. In terms of flavor, it absolutely crushed the sect's cooking. And this was just the beginning. The meals at Hidden Yuan Peak were now settled. Lu Changzhi gave Luo Ling'er a thumbs up. To make it this good on your first try, you really are a little cooking genius. Hearing Gu Chen's praise, Luo Ling'er was so excited she almost jumped up. Yeah, Ling'er really is a little genius. The master is truly a big shot. So this was the real reason he accepted Ling'er? Gu Chen suddenly understood in his heart. Yet he also found it somewhat unbelievable. After all, this was someone even his own system hadn't detected anything special about. And yet Lu Changzhi had seen it. A master who has returned to simplicity. Truly terrifying indeed. The junior sister was so adorable and so talented at cooking. In the future, she will likely be gentle and virtuous. Gu Chen thought to himself. At that moment, Lu Changzhi looked over. Gu Chen, those opinions you mentioned earlier, I will think them over. No, Gu Chen quickly said. Master, please don't consider them. Just pretend I didn't say anything. The chicken soup junior sister made is truly delicious. She's indeed skilled at this. Make the most of what she's good at. Good steel should be used for the blade. I'll follow all of Master's arrangements. No kidding, with such a junior sister who can cook. How can I miss out? Although before coming, I thought making Luo Ling'er cook was a bit like bullying a young girl. But it seems bullying her, after all, is also quite nice. You understand? That's good. Lu Changzhi nodded. Satisfied in his heart, unconsciously, he had built up some authority again. There is nothing else. Then the disciple will take leave first. Gu Chen's voice trailed off. Then he stood up and left. Lu Changzhi finished the soup in his bowl. Just as he raised his hand, he was startled. Where's the pot? In the days that followed, there were some changes. Luo Ling'er's cooking improved with each attempt. In just 5 days, she had completely surpassed the meals made by the sect. Luo Ling'er was tireless in this pursuit, continuously experimenting, and her experiments repeatedly proved the capriciousness of a genius. Even if the attempts were unsuccessful, they were still not bad. Under such circumstances, the most satisfied were Gu Chen and Lu Changzhi, with Luo Ling'er for meals and enlightenment tea for drinks. It was truly a carefree and delightful time. However, there was one thing that had been bugging Lu Changzhi. Last time, when he accompanied Gu Chen out, the system had given him 300 experience points. Gu Chen successfully checked in, and he was given another 100 experience points. Adding to what he already had, it was exactly 950, just 50 short. And during this time, there had been no other choices presenting themselves. On Gu Chen's side, there were no new check-in tasks either. Until this day, the second disciple recruiting task was issued. Task content. The host must recruit a new disciple within 1 month. Recruit a new disciple. Task restriction. The disciple recruited must have an aptitude of spirit grade top tier or above. Task reward. 1,500 experience points. And a big disciple recruiting gift pack one. Finally, something new to do. Changzhi's eyes lit up. He got up from the lounge chair. After holding back for so long, the system is unusually generous. Moreover, this time there is no restriction that we must bring the system. In this way, the difficulty of completing the task has clearly dropped by a notch. 1,500 experience points reward. Enough to let me directly open the shop. Wait, Changzhi's expression shifted slightly. Maybe there's a chance to open it now. Just then, he stood up and walked outside. Master intends to go out for some time. During this period, I'll leave Hidden Source Peak in your care. Hearing this, Gu Chen nodded in agreement. At that moment, Changzhi continued. Gu Chen, your flying boat. I'll borrow it for a while. Gu Chen was slightly taken aback, but soon, he retrieved the flying boat. Handing it to Changzhi, he thought, that's not quite right. After Changzhi left, Gu Chen looked puzzled. A generous man like my master. Why would he need to use my flying boat? Soon, a glimmer of understanding appeared in his eyes. I see Master must still have higher grade ones. She is planning to keep her wealth hidden. That's why she gave me the inferior ones. I just wonder if this time Master goes out, she'll bring back another disciple. Leaving Inyuan Peak, Changzhi went to find Song Wenyu. After hearing about Changzhi's plan to travel, Song Wenyu hesitated for a moment, then said, Changzhi, things outside have been unsettled lately. Ever since the news from Inyuan Peak got out, other factions have been paying close attention. Last time you took Gu Chen out, some people secretly tried to investigate. This matter still needs to be kept under wraps for a while longer. Also, those people you encountered outside last time, they were involved in some cult activities. From their spatial rings, we found a large amount of blood. The investigators sent out have learned some information. Over the past 6 months, the number of missing people has increased. And it's not just in the territory of our 5 Elephants sect that such a situation has occurred. Other powers have also made some related discoveries. I'm afraid those who did these things are not the only ones. Listening to what Song Wenyu said, Changzhi's expression shifted slightly. This could be considered an unexpected gain from the previous trip. Nowadays, when disciples go out, the sect has increased its covert protective forces. Currently, the sect's elders are already short of manpower. If you go out, I'm afraid we cannot provide sufficient protection. This is the main reason. Changzhi pondered for a moment. Sect leader Tsang, on this trip, I won't go too far. I mainly need to do some things. Perhaps it won't take that long. Once things are done, I will immediately rush back to the sect. After a pause, Changzhi added, Moreover, I am now at the 9th level of the Tao platform realm. I have also cultivated some life-saving techniques. There's no need to worry about ordinary dangers. As he said this, Changzhi displayed his aura. Song Wenyu let out a soft exclamation. He was a little uncertain. As I recall, just a month ago, you had only just reached the Tao platform stage. And now, in the blink of an eye, you're at the pinnacle of the Tao platform. ISNT that a bit too fast. Changzhi smiled faintly. The Tao Ancestor's instruction says. Before he could finish, Song Wenyu understood. Tao, then the life-saving measure you mentioned. What is it again? Changzhi's mind stirred. The next moment, its figure vanished into thin air. Appeared at the entrance of the hall, silent and unperturbed. Song Wenyu inhaled sharply. What kind of technique are you cultivating? With his keen eyesight, what Changzhi had just used, the rank has definitely reached the spirit level. At least it's still at the level of minor achievement. This doesn't seem to be from the sect, right? Indeed not. Changzhi nodded. My disciple taught me. What do you think, sect leader? Gu Chen and Song Wenyu had somewhat strange expressions. Watching Changzhi give you enlightenment tea, lend you the flying boat, and even teach you a spiritual cultivation technique. Between the two of you, Who is the master? You as the master. What have you given him? Lu Changzhi fell silent, unable to refute. But soon he changed the subject. Sect leader, have you made your decision? Song Wenyu paused thoughtfully. In that case, go ahead, but be extra cautious. And if you encounter danger, flee immediately. Call for help, just as he said. A flash of light appeared, and 20 special talisman papers flew into Lu Changzhi's hands. These are all top-grade heavenly talismans. The brown patterned ones are for defense, enough to withstand a peak-level attack from the realm of life and death. Apply the green ones to your body, and they can dramatically boost your speed at critical moments. No matter what you go out to do, always protect yourself first when facing danger. After a pause, Song Wenyu added one more sentence. See if this is enough. If it's not enough, I'll give you more. As he spoke, Song Wenyu took out another storage ring and handed it to Lu Changzhi. It's enough, it's enough. Lu Changzhi couldn't help but laugh. Talismans like this, especially of the celestial rank, each one is worth quite a lot. Putting away the talismans, Lu Changzhi walked out. If he didn't leave now, he'd probably be stuffed with things by the sect leader soon. That's not right. After Lu Changzhi left, Song Wenyu looked confused. It's been less than a month since Gu Chun entered Inyuan Peak, and Changzhi has already cultivated a spirit grade skill to minor completion. I remember his aptitude. Wasn't it only at the earth rank? Could it be? As he spoke, a relieved smile spread across Song Wenyu's face. Not bad. As expected of a kid who grew up in the Five Symbols sect since childhood. He sure knows how to hide it. I'll have to find a chance later to properly test that boy's aptitude. Changzhi, where are we planning to go this trip? Changzhi, where are we planning to go on this trip? On the flying boat, Su Kuan asked aloud. Lu Changzhi thought for a moment. Walk a bit farther on the path. Then let's just wander around. The system's detection range is limited. High above the sky, unable to detect what is below. If you want to investigate, you still need to get off the flying boat. Must enter in person. Places too close had already been visited countless times. Looking for someone with upper grade spirit level aptitude is extremely unlikely. Only in places a bit farther away would the probability be higher. Generally speaking, if ordinary people want to know their own aptitude, they either have it probed and told by someone with sufficiently high cultivation, which is usually not particularly accurate, or they go to the Five Symbols sect to pay for a test. But the time and effort spent is, for the average person, not worth it. And this is where his opportunity lies. The system can directly conduct the probe. What he needed to do was keep the other within his detection range. However, Lu Changzhi was also aware that this was probably no easy task. After all, a spirit grade upper tier talent, even if one hadn't started training yet, would still reveal extraordinary traits. The probability of truly remaining unnoticed was very low. This was likely why the system offered such generous experience points. Forget it. If I find one, I'll take them in. If not, I'll just treat it as a trip to relax. In the following days, Lu Changzhi wandered through various major cities, eating, drinking, having fun, and exploring the mortal world. His days were spent quite freely. Su Kuan was also enjoying himself. For no other reason, tagging along with Lu Changzhi meant drinking enlightenment tea far more comfortable than staying in the sect. One day in Golden Cloud City, Lu Changzhi, who was walking along, suddenly stopped in his tracks. After more than 10 days, the system had finally given a prompt. There is a person with a special talent within the current range. Check, check, swish, a flash of light. Only special talents? Lu Changzhi's eyebrows slightly raised. No special physique at all. The aptitude is also the worst. Only the talent column. Blessing others, those who possess this talent, can subtly influence the luck of those around them, improving their fortune, luck, and wealth. But it won't help oneself much. What's wrong? Seeing Lu Changzhi suddenly stop, Su Kuan asked out loud. System, give me his location. Lu Changzhi silently recited. The next moment, light appeared, pointing to a restaurant ahead. This restaurant is built quite grandly and is established by the Jin family, the largest power in Jinyan City. Named Jinyu Tower. Let's go there to rest and get something to eat. He stood up and walked. According to his recent gathering of information, even those who possess talents, it's extremely rare, but since we've run into it, let's take a look while we're at it. Didn't we just eat in the previous city? Ktukun murmureth, and quickened his pace to follow. In the Golden Jade Tower, people were coming and going. Many servants were walking about. What is your name? Lu Changzhi stopped a servant and asked. Jean Fugue. The servant quickly replied. Lu Changzhi nodded lightly. He looked him over. He was probably just over 20, with an honest-looking face and a somewhat thin build. He seemed a bit reserved. At first glance, there really was nothing special about him. Sir, may I ask what your instructions are? Jean Fugue asked. Fugue, I see you have an extraordinary bone structure, with well-proportioned features. Would you be interested in working for my 5-elephant sect? Lu Changzhi said, although you have no cultivation. Going to Hidden Yuan Peak to be a mascot. Isn't a bad idea. Jean Fugue was stunned, staring at Lu Changzhi in disbelief. But soon a flicker of dejection passed through his eyes. I'm only a yellow-grade aptitude. Why would the 5-elephant sect want me? Sir, you must be joking. I'm not joking. Lu Changzhi shook his head. He took out an identity token. If you're willing, come with me to work at the 5-elephant sect. If not, consider this never said. Think it over. Although his talent is good, he won't force it. Seeing the token, Jean Fugue's eyes widened in shock. Although he didn't know exactly what status it represented, the other party was definitely a disciple of the 5 Emblem sect. It was indeed common for some sect disciples to find servants to work for them. For mortals, even just being by a cultivator's side was incomparable to ordinary life. I'm willing, Jean Fugue said. He paused slightly, but this matter, I need to go and inform my father. All right, then I'll go with you. Lu Changzhi stood up. Changzhi's way of taking disciples is truly hard to understand. Su Kuan was completely baffled at this moment. That Luo linger before, and now this Jean Fugue. Could there really be something that he hadn't noticed? I have no objections to this matter. Since he's willing, let him go. If there's nothing else in the future, there's no need to come back. Leaving the Jean residence, Lu Changzhi was still surprised. This Jean Fugue's father turned out to be the head of the Jean family. It seemed that he was quite disdainful of Jean Fugue. Even after they walked far away, he could still hear him say, with his spiritual sense, finally, that jinx is gone. Before Lu Changzhi could ask, Jean Fugue roughly explained. It turned out that his mother was originally a cultivator. His talent was limited, but when he was a few years old, he suddenly made a breakthrough, and later his path of cultivation became even smoother. Although it wasn't particularly high, for the mortal world, it was already not low. Then, his mother cuckolded the Jean family head. The Jean family was at its peak. How could the Jean family head tolerate this? But his mother was powerful. He couldn't defeat her. Later, his mother simply never came back. The Jean family head himself had repeated cuckoldings, probably similar to love me, love my dog. The Jean family head's attitude toward him became extremely hostile. After learning that he had no talent for cultivation, he directly called him a jinx. So that's how it is. After hearing this, Lu Changzhi felt emotional. Birds choose the best trees to perch on. Changing places is also a good thing. Afterward, he asked about the Jean family's development over the years. Unsurprisingly, it was in the last 10+ years that they have been increasingly prosperous. Taking Jean Fugue, he continued his travels, eating when he should, drinking when he should. In the blink of an eye, several more days passed. Counting the time, the 1-month deadline had only 3 days left. It seemed that completing this task was not an easy matter. Gazing at the scenery on the horizon, Lu Changzhi sighed in his heart. 1 month's time was still too short. Another day passed. Ahead, another fairly large city appeared. As usual, he walked into it. As he approached the city lord's mansion, a red light suddenly flashed before Lu Changzhi's eyes. The system prompted that another system host was detected nearby. Be careful. At the same time, another system prompt rang out right after. Found a target meeting the screening criteria. Spirit grade, superior talent, or above. Would you like to view it? Another system host. Lu Changzhi raised an eyebrow. This small territory of the 5-elephant sect, indeed full of hidden talents. He had encountered 2 individuals with systems in a row. Checking, Lu Changzhi thought to himself. Swoosh, information appeared. So it really is the same person? Lu Changzhi's gaze fell upon the idle training system. The system automatically gave a brief introduction. The idle training system can place cultivation techniques, martial skills, treasures, elixirs, and other cultivation resources. It automatically trains itself. No need to divert attention to manage it. As long as the host is alive, training never stops. Random rewards are obtained after idling for a certain period. Idling speed and limits increase as the system upgrades. Lu Changji's mind suddenly stirred. He recalled the options the system had given him before choosing his identity. Whether it was the check-in system or the idle system, both were among them. Moreover, now even the identities seemed to match roughly. Guchen was indeed born in a mountain village, and now this place is near the prince's mansion. Now, this place is also near the prince's mansion. It seems that all the options chosen back then are coming to fruition. A glint flashed through Lu Changji's eyes. Last time, I hacked Guchen's system directly with the system's help. This time, system as soon as the words left his mouth, the system suddenly issued a prompt. Host has encountered another cheater. Option 1. Fight poison with poison. Use cheat to fight cheat, hack the other system, forcing them to voluntarily become your disciple. Reward. Experience points 200. Option 2. Personally find a way to convince them to become your disciple. Reward. External avatar 1. Option 3. Pretend not to see and leave immediately. Reward. Spirit rank top grade cultivation art. Bright pupil art 1. There are choices again. Lu Changji was slightly surprised. Using the system would be simple, but the experience points are a bit too few. Skipping the first option, Lu Changji scrutinized the remaining 2 choices. Even a spirit rank top grade art has appeared. Valuable top grade spiritual techniques of the 5 Elephants sect. I'm afraid they are few and far between, but it's corresponding. Forget it, just leave directly. The loss is not insignificant. The task reward for taking on a disciple, the boost in realm and strength brought by the new disciple, and the possible cracked version of the AFK cultivation system. Then the only option left is to personally persuade. Lu Changji looked at the so-called reward. External incarnation can create an avatar identical to the user, does not have independent consciousness, can only perform designated tasks, can use most of the system's functions. Reliable. Lu Changji's eyes lit up. Truly a pillow when feeling drowsy. This trip has been so long. Been to too many places. I'm indeed a bit tired of it. With this external incarnation, why next issue a task? I won't have to personally run around so hard. Even if I do run, efficiency will be greatly improved. No need to hesitate anymore. Ask the system about Mu Fan's location. Indeed, he was in the Mu Mansion up ahead. Lu Changji intended to visit the Mu Mansion. Su Kuan glanced at Lu Changji. Asked, Peak Master Su seems quite familiar with this Mu Mansion. Not exactly familiar, but I've been here a few times. Then I'll trouble Peak Master Su. Lu Changji smiled. Not long after, a middle-aged man with a square face, Mu Jun, the master of the Mu Mansion, hurried over. Peak Master Su, what brings you here? Please come in, come in. The group entered the hall, and Mu Jun quickly ordered his people to busy themselves. Peak Master Su, is there some matter that would make you travel all this way in person? Is there anything my Mu family can help with? I have no particular business myself, Su Kuan said with a smile, his gaze shifting to Lu Changji. This visit is actually Peak Master Lu's initiative. Peak Master Lu. Mu Jun quickly looked over. His expression startled, and he hurriedly said, You are the one who accepted the genius Guchen this time. The Peak Master Lu, for whom the 5 Elephants sect specially established the new hidden origin peak. I've heard so much about you. I never imagined you would grace us with your presence. Truly, you honor the Mu family with your visit. When it comes to flattery, it's the mortal forces that excel. Beside them, Jean Fugue's mind was buzzing. These two, who had been eating and drinking and enjoying themselves everywhere, were actually both peak masters of the 5 Elephants sect, and the one who had taken him in was actually Peak Master Lu, who had been the talk of the town. Shock, awe, disbelief. You're too kind, Prefect Mu, Lu Changji said with a smile. He continued, this time, I mainly intend to take on a disciple from the Mu family. I wonder if Prefect Mu has anyone to recommend. Taking on a disciple? Mu Jun's expression stiffened, as if he had heard something incredible. He ventured cautiously, is it to enter Hidden Origin Peak and become your disciple? Exactly. Lu Changji nodded. Mu Jun took a deep breath. Peak Master Lu, Would you be willing to wait a while? Some of the juniors in the estate are still outside. It will take some time. That's fine. We're already nearby, so there's no particular rush. Mu Jun quickly stood up. He wanted to spread this news. He summoned the younger generation of the Mu family. The entire Mu family was instantly thrown into an uproar. Heavens! Who would have thought the legendary peak master of Hidden Yuan Peak would personally come to our Mu family to take on disciples? What a pity. If only I were a bit younger. This could have been my chance. I heard they're entering Hidden Yuan Peak. That spirit grade lower quality genius, Gu Chun, is among them this time. If he gets accepted, they'll be fellow disciples in the future. Even if they fight, they'll have backup. Such a great opportunity. The eldest and second young masters have a high chance. As for us, probably not much chance of that. The entire Mu family was in an uproar. Ever since Gu Chun had been accepted into Hidden Origin Peak, the rumors about Hidden Origin Peak had never ceased. Moreover, as the stories were passed from mouth to mouth, they became increasingly outrageous. There were rumors that anyone who could enter Hidden Origin Peak would inevitably shake the world upon leaving it. Hidden Origin Peak was also growing more and more legendary, shrouded in mystery. And now, Inyuan Peak has come personally to take on disciples. Changzhi, what made you suddenly think of taking disciples from the Mu family? After the outsiders left, Su Kuan asked Lu Changzhi. Lu Changzhi smiled faintly. Just as I was about to visit the Mu family, Peak Master Su, did you already guess this possibility? Su Kuan nodded. That's indeed the case. Lu Changzhi smiled. A man's intuition. I felt that in the Mu family, there would be something to gain, so I came. Hearing this, Su Kuan couldn't help but shake his head. This kid bluffing again. Still, he was somewhat curious. This time, what kind of person is Lu Changzhi planning to take in? The previous cases, Luo Linger and Jin Fugui, were both unpredictable in their own ways. Mu Jun did not immediately summon the family disciples, but instead prepared a lavish dinner banquet. The banquet was laid out on a grand scale. At the very central seats, Su Kuan and Lu Changzhi and the others were seated, while the rest were the important figures of the Mu Mansion. The younger generation of the Mu Manor followed closely behind. According to their different statuses, they each took their seats in an orderly manner. However, Lu Changzhi noticed that among the younger generation of the Mu Manor, in the foremost seats, one seat was left empty. Patriarch Mu Jun raised his wine glass. After the toast, he said, "The younger generation of the Mu Manor is almost all here now. Shall I introduce them to you?" Wait a moment. Lu Changzhi gently raised his hand and asked, "Why is there still an empty seat over there?" Mu Jun looked over, then helplessly smiled. He said, "That is my third son." As for Mu Fan's seat, perhaps he knew his own talent was lacking. So interesting. A hint of amusement crept into Lu Changzhi's voice. He hadn't expected that Mu Fan would actually choose not to come. These words fell on Mu Jun's ears, like a bolt of thunder, immediately stiffening his body and breaking him out in a cold sweat. "Peak Lord Lu, please don't be offended. I'll send someone to find him right away," Mu Jun quickly said. It was only then that it suddenly struck him that this wasn't just about opportunity. It was a matter of face. The esteemed Peak Lord of Inyuan Peak had come to his Mu family to take on disciples. Even if there was no hope, the Mu family should have presented everyone. Although this third son of his possessed exceptionally poor talent and aptitude and was far from being cut out for cultivation. But none of that matters. What matters is not to offend Peak Master Lu. "Steward, go find Fanner quickly." Mu Yun urged immediately. But the steward looked troubled. "Master, when I told the third young master about this earlier, he asked me to pass it on to the first and second young masters, telling them to perform well. As for him, he said he wouldn't come to embarrass himself." After speaking, he left the room. As his voice fell, the grand banquet suddenly became so quiet that a pin drop could be heard. All the high-ranking members of the Shepherd Manor looked grim. Mu Jun felt his scalp tingle even more. "Go find him. Hurry and search outside." A high-ranking member of the Shepherd Manor spoke up. Upon hearing this, the steward quickly acknowledged. He hurried away. "Peak Master Lu, regarding my son Fan, please do not take offense." In just a short while, Mu Jun's forehead was already covered with sweat as large as beans. He also did it unintentionally. "It wasn't my intention to disrespect you, so I hope you won't take offense." The other high-ranking members of the Mu Prefecture also tensed up. If they were to lose this opportunity for the younger generation of Mu Prefecture to enter Yin Yuan Peak, that would truly be, no need to be so tense, Prefecture Master Mu. Lu Changzhi shook his head with a smile. I was merely curious. What did you mean earlier, Prefecture Master Mu? When you said that Mu Fan has poor aptitude? Hearing Lu Changzhi's inquiry, Mu Jun breathed a slight sigh of relief. He didn't seem too angry, so there was still some leeway. Immediately, he quickly said, Mu Fan is unlike his two elder brothers. He only has a yellow grade top-tier aptitude, and when it comes to cultivation, his mind isn't quite sharp enough. There are many things he simply cannot understand, which is why, over the years, his cultivation has made little progress.